I'm Ms. Rebecca Newbern of the Richmond Rivets, and we have a program called the 2 Steps a Month to Emergency Preparedness and Local Resilience. And this is month 3. So in month 3, we're going to be talking about how to get a go bag together and also where to locate some safe sources of drinking water in your house that are already there. So let's start with step 1. And step 1 is your go bag. And for those of you that don't know what a go bag is, it's basically something that you would grab and go. So if you had to evacuate in the case of an emergency, it's something you have, right by your door or in a location that you can easily get to that you take with you. And every family member should have one, and it would contain the essentials that you would need to be okay for at least 3 days. And so it's a lot to put together a go bag. And once again, the idea of the 2 Steps a Month program is to do things in a manageable way. So we're going to focus on getting a container, and that container for you could be a backpack that you already have. So maybe you have just an extra backpack around the house. It could even be your camping backpack. So, when you go camping, you can empty it out, but in the meantime, just use your camping backpack if you have one and start to collect your go bag stuff. So we're just going to focus on the top 3 most essential things you should have in a go bag. That's some warm clothes. You might just put some shoes right by, your good walking shoes, and some socks right by it so you don't need to stick it in the go bag. Some warm clothes. You might be outside for several days because if it's your house isn't available, you're looking for emergency shelter. So it might be a warm hat, a sweater, also a rain poncho or something to keep you dry in case the weather isn't very nice. Other things you're going to want to have in there is food to last you 3 days. You don't want anything that's going to require heat or water to prepare. So some of the good suggestions are just to get trail mix or high energy bars. The meals are, the MREs are good, but obviously they're more expensive. So just kind of do it, easy. If your family isn't allergic to nuts, you might want to just have a little extra container with a spoon or 2 of, for some nut butter and some honey. I have mine with nut butter, honey, and like chocolate powder that goes on it. Good combo. And then you want water for everyone. So at least a gallon in there. Preferably people should have a gallon a day, but if you're going to be lugging it, that's a lot of weight. So a minimum of a gallon per person. So once again, each person in your household should have one. Obviously, if you have smaller children, if they can have some type of backpack, great, but the adults might have to carry some of the extra, weight for them. So we'll be adding more things to the go bag, but minimum, start to get your go bag together and get your top 3 items. Warm clothes, water, and some food. So step 2 is water around your household. Now next month, in month 4, we're going to be actually looking at getting some storage water for your household. But for right now, we're just going to assess where do you actually already have water that's available for drinking, and where are some other sources that aren't necessarily safe to drink now that you could either use to purify to make safe, or they might just be used for bathing. So let's kind of just look around the household and see where we can find water sources. Drink water and other liquids that you know are not contaminated first. 2 sources of water are ice cubes and other bottled water you already have in the house. This may come as a bit of a shock to those of you that listen and believe advertising, but drinking carbonated beverages instead of drinking water does not meet drinking water requirements. And this is according to FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency. So another thing to note is that caffeinated drinks and alcohol actually dehydrate the body, which means this increases your need to drink more water. Remember that the main idea is to stay hydrated. Canned fruits and vegetables, as well as fruit juices, can help to keep you hydrated. If you hear reports of broken water or sewage lines, or if local officials advise you of a problem, protect the water that is still in your pipes by turning the water main off. We'll learn more about how to do that in month 4. After you turn the water main off, you can go to the highest faucet in your house, for example, on a 2nd floor if you have one, and a small amount of water will trickle out when you open it up. Then go to the lowest faucet and collect the remaining water from your house. If the water comes out dirty or cloudy, be sure to purify it first. There's also a significant amount of water in your hot water tank. If you have an on-demand water heater, there's unfortunately no water stored in there. But for the other types of tank heaters, what you're going to need to do is turn off the electricity if it's an electric water heater, or turn off the thermostat to the pilot setting if it's a gas heater. Next, go to a sink and turn on the hot water. This is done to prevent a vacuum forming in the line. Go back to the water heater and open the drain valve. After the disaster, remember to refill the tank before turning the gas or electricity back on. If you had to turn the gas off at the main, a professional will need to turn it back on. There are also some sources around your house that might not be safe to drink from. And we're going to be looking at these as well as ways to purify water. So let's kind of take a look and see where are some places that we have water that might not be safe in its current stage. Yes, you can drink water from the tank of your toilet after purifying it. Make sure you know your toilet's anatomy. Do not drink water from the bowl. Don't drink water from pools and spas. The chemicals used to kill germs are too concentrated for safe drinking water, but it can be used for bathing and cleaning. It's probably better to have a bucket and clean yourself outside of the pool or spa so that the water inside continues to stay fresh for future cleaning and bathing. One thing we really need to do is we need to make sure we have safe drinking water. Because if we're drinking water that's not safe to drink, what happens is people get diarrhea and then they get more dehydrated, and that's when people get really super sick and die. We don't want that to happen. I don't think you do. I know I don't. So what we're going to do is we're going to learn some ways to take water that might not be safe to drink and purify it. The best method is to take water, boil it, let it get to a rapid boil for a minute, let it cool down, and then we can drink it. That's super safe. Unfortunately, in an emergency situation, we don't often have access to electricity or gas to boil stuff. So great idea, but we may not want to use our electricity or energy that way, or we might not even have it. So the other method, besides if people have like hand purifiers, is, and I'm not talking about British here, we're talking about something a little bit more sophisticated that you would buy for camping, is to actually use household bleach. Now the important thing to know about bleach is you want plain, unscented bleach. You don't want anything with color fast, you don't want anything with added cleansers, plain, unscented bleach. The newer it is, the stronger it's going to be. Obviously, if it's, you've had the bleach open for a while, that's fine. You definitely use it. But just know that if you have a fresh bottle of bleach that you can use, that's going to be better. What you do is you take a gallon of your water that you think is unsafe. You put 16 drops in, or about 1/8 of a teaspoon in for every gallon. You put it in and you let it sit for 30 minutes. At the end of the 30 minutes, smell the water. If it smells like bleach, that's good. That's going to be safe to drink. If it doesn't smell like bleach, you need to repeat the process. You have to add another 1/8 of a teaspoon. This time, let it wait for 15 minutes. Check it. If it smells like bleach after 15 minutes, great, it's drinkable. If it doesn't smell like bleach after 2 times, don't drink the water. Now, just another thing, because it smells like bleach and that's not really a pleasant scent to most people, after you've smelled the bleach and you know that it's safe to drink, just let it air out for a little bit of time, couple hours, whatever, and then it'll be a little bit more, pleasant to drink. Now, so those are kind of the things that you want to make sure that your water's safe to drink. Once again, month 3 is making sure we have our top 3 items for a go bag, and to make sure we know where we have accessible water within our house and how to purify it. And we will continue to look at water next month. So once again, we can do it. We can do it. Local resilience, emergency preparedness, 2 steps a month. Get yourself organized, help to get other people in your community organized. This really is something that we can all do together and benefit from as a community when we come together and share our ideas and share our resources. So good luck, and share this program with others. 2 Steps a Month is a project of the Richmond Rivets. The Richmond Rivets is a transition town initiative helping our community of Richmond, California, and others to live more locally and resiliently. Check out our other replicable project, the Richmond Grows Seed Lending Library, where people can borrow seeds for free from the public library and learn to save seeds to return locally adapted seeds for others to borrow. Our Create a Library page has all the resources you need to get a library started in your community.